Hi, David here, CEO and founder of the Freedom Founders Mastermind community. I have the privilege to work with a number of business owners, predominantly in the healthcare industry, who have been in career for some time. They've built up a good business, a good practice, and they're looking for the potential exit, the sale, the buyout, the transition out. They put in the time, the work. It's their opportunity. There's a lot of ways to sell a business or a practice today. That's good. The optionality is great. The problem is there are a lot of minefields in doing that, and getting some structure from people, myself and other people that are included and surround our group of Freedom Founders, is something that we help navigate these owners into what the best game plan may be for them. Many people come to us with already an LOI, a letter of intent in hand. They're excited, of course. Hey, look at the LOI I got from the buyer. Typically it's private equity. We call them DSOs, dental service organizations, that are bringing offers to the table, have been doing so in our field predominantly for the last 5 or 6 years. Things are changing rapidly, and I'll do another video on those changes, but here's my point. When you have an LOI from even a private buyer, DSO, whatever it may be, the excitement's there. It's more money, probably in one lump sum, than you've ever seen potentially in your life. You've been working hard, you've built up a net worth over time, but it's the compound effect. Now you're going to take the fruits of that labor and harvest them into a chunk of equity. So here's the problem. What do you do with that equity? See, when you own the business or practice, your equity is in that business. And it's there until you decide to harvest it. While it's there, you have control over it. Like it or not, whether you want to go in and work it or not, that's your ultimate control. You're the one who gets to adapt, pivot, create more revenue, more profit, deal with challenges in the environment. You get to make those decisions right there. It's your best source of navigating your future and creating that financial freedom. But when it's time to take your foot off the pedal, when you've done it long enough, you're reaching that point where it's like, I need some space, I need some time, I deserve it. And you do. Now the question comes, I know how to deal with that equity and make it produce in my hands, that being the business or practice. But now that I get it, where do I go to make that money, that equity work as hard as I can without me being the principal doer? Because you don't want to be the doer anymore. You've earned the right. That's where, quote, passive investing comes into place. And the problem is most people will take that capital and they'll put it into the financial markets. Now, when the market's on a bull run upside, that's great. Everything works out. Everybody looks like a genius, including your advisor. What happens when we go through a correction, the typical business cycle? Well, we've seen it over and over again. Just going back a couple of decades to 2000, the dot-com bust. Back in 2008, the great financial crisis. Every time we have a market cycle, equities across the board drop. And what most financial advisors tell their clients, you'll be okay as long as. Oh, as long as what? As long as we don't have a significant market correction in your first 2 or 3 years outside of active income. See, that destroys all their, quote, algorithms. We don't use that model. We use a model based on continuous cash flow, sustainable cash flow, not on a depletion model. But my point is, when you have an LOI in hand and you're ready to take it because you're excited, you come to the point where the realization is, I don't know what to do with this capital. I have never learned how to deal with it. I am afraid to give it to a financial advisor because they may not know what to do with it. They haven't seen the market changes we're dealing with right now. It's in your hands now. In Freedom Founders, this is what we teach our members. We educate, we create game plans, blueprints, and we create the resources for the implementation so they can be the best stewards, the best advocates for their own financial future. This is a key, in my opinion, over the next decades, not just a short period of time, the next decades. If you're not able, willing, capable to navigate your own financial future and you're going to leave it in the hands of other people or the market in general, very scary times. You did not do all the work you did to get to where you are. You did not take all the risk to get to where you are, only to step back and gamble it to the marketplace or a place that doesn't have a proven track record. My advocation for you, step up and learn how to do it. We do it well in Freedom Founders. We have a track record. If you're that person who you have interest in that, I suggest you reach out. We work with high caliber people who are at the right stage in their career, right place, where we know we can make a difference. Could that be you? You won't know unless you reach out.